The main job of those in the procurement department is to make purchases. This purchasing process starts with sourcing the supplier, negotiating and making contracts, monitoring the suppliers, ensuring things get delivered, all of this within the context of business protocols. Formally, procurement is defined as the act of obtaining or purchasing goods or services, typically for business purposes. There are many challenges in doing procurement traditionally. It's a very time-consuming process. Chances of duplication and fraud. Inefficient data management. Many potential errors. Let's talk about some of the core modules of the procurement cycle. It usually starts with managing suppliers, so there will be a vendor master. You need to have the capability to create purchase requests. It needs to have approval mechanisms, and you need to be able to share your purchase requests with various vendors or suppliers. These vendors should be able to submit quotations, the customer should be able to negotiate with the vendor, and should be able to compare the quotations, issue a PO for the shortlisted vendor, track the delivery of goods, and process vendor invoice. So these are some of the core modules of procurement, from managing your suppliers, to sourcing your requirements, contracts, requisitions, the purchasing, the payment, and analysis to see your best vendors with the best delivery and best rates. All this information needs to be provided by the system. When organizations have to choose an e-procurement system, there are multiple approaches they can take. One approach is going directly to market and purchasing a pre-existing e-procurement solution. However, these solutions generally aren't configurable, which may not be aligned to the organization's workflow needs, and that causes adaptability issues as it is not tuned to their way of working. The second option is completely building a custom application from scratch. This can be very costly and time-consuming. Or should there be any changes down the line, it will be even more costly and time-consuming to get certain features added or redone. So that's why many modern organizations are looking into low-code applications, which solves the disadvantages of the two prior options. Low-code platforms are platforms that enable you to build systems, such as e-procurement, without coding. That means lower costs, faster development, and it will suit the requirements of your team. For this e-procurement use case, let me show you an application flow that starts with the customer requesting quotations from various suppliers. Let's log into the application as a customer user first, and I'm going to raise a purchase request. So first, we'll go into our master data, and see that all our vendors are registered here. We can also see their details, and the team members registered from the vendor. We'll go into quotation requests, and click New Quotation Request. We'll be taken to this form, which we have to fill. For this example, let's say we need printers for the office. We'll fill in the request title, the request type, today's date, the desired delivery date, the latest date for the vendor to respond, the delivery destination, each vendor name, our remarks. I'll type the reason we need these printers. Then we can attach files, where we'll put the required printer specifications. We'll also provide quotation details here, where we'll type the model number, style, name of the product, unit of measurement, quantity, desired price, desired delivery date, and remarks. Once we've filled that in, we'll click Save, and then click Create. The system has automatically assigned a request ID. Now if we go into the tab called Supplier Quotation, we can see that each vendor we wrote down has their own request ID. Next, the supplier staff will prepare a quotation. So how would it look from the supplier's side? Let's log in as a staff in Canon. We can see that he has received the request in his inbox. Let's see what it says. He can see all the details provided by the customer, and here he can choose whether to accept or reject this request. If he accepts, then he will need to provide all these details, such as the request number, the payment terms, quotation expiry date, remarks, attaching the quotation, and providing quotation details, such as the price per unit, initial cost, due date, and remarks. After all that is filled in, we can submit the quotation. After the quotation is submitted, the customer has the choice to either accept or negotiate the quotation. So let us log in again as the customer. Let's say both vendors have submitted their quotations, but we have yet to shortlist them. We can click on the task, check out the details, and approve both quotations. Now that we've accepted their quotations, we need to finalize a vendor. We'll go back to the Quotations Request tab, look through the details of their quotations and compare them, and when we're ready, we can click Finalize Vendor. Let us select one of them, add our reason, add our remarks, and click Save. Now we will also provide an answer and reasoning for the vendor we rejected. Let's update that. After the vendor has been shortlisted, it's time to issue a purchase order. So let's head over to the Purchases Order tab, and click Create New. We need to fill in details such as the title of the request type, the vendor, the estimated delivery date, the number of orders, the number of deliveries, the delivery answer date, the delivery destination, the manager in charge, add our remarks, attach our PO, and submit the request, which will go to the manager. Let's log in as the manager. We'll be able to see the PO request directly in our inbox. We can look through the details that have been submitted, and we can reject it or approve it. We'll approve it and submit that. Now that we've approved the PO, it's shared directly to the vendor. Afterwards, the vendor will need to confirm the expected delivery date, which will need to be approved. We'll log in again as the vendor, and we'll see the PO directly in our inbox. The vendor has to confirm the delivery date, add remarks, and complete the task. Afterwards, the customer needs to confirm whether or not they're fine with the proposed delivery date. So we'll log in as the customer again, and see the task in our inbox. We'll click on that and approve it. The last step is to confirm the delivery. So as the customer, we can go into the Supplier's Quotation tab, into the specific quotation from that vendor, and click Confirm Delivery Date. With all the information already filled out here, we just need to click Create to request a delivery confirmation. Once the vendor has made the shipment, they will update it in the system. Logging in as the vendor again, we'll see the delivery confirmation in our inbox. So we'll click on that, and if the order has been shipped, then the vendor will choose the date they sent it out, which should be the day they fill the confirmation form, add remarks, and fill in additional information, once again adding the delivery date, and seeing how that compares to the promised delivery date. Once that is done, they can submit it. When the delivery has reached the customer, we can confirm that it was received, that it's all according to the order, and working well. So logging in as the customer, the form is waiting in the inbox. We have to confirm whether or not we approve the delivery, and whether or not it's according to the quality expected. We'll approve it, add remarks, and submit it. Thus, finishing the process. So from quotation requests, all the way to confirming the delivery, everything happens in the system. Based on that, we can see reports in compliance with SLA. The system also supports English and Indonesian, and can be kept on-premise or on cloud. The drag-and-drop builder makes it highly efficient and configurable for your business. Stay ahead of the game, create applications to suit your needs with Xora.